Very good morning.
How did the launches go yesterday?
There were so many launches that were happening throughout the country. I attended two. The Commission for Gender Equality is partnering with the Organize Faced organization, and the Archbishop was there in the launch where we're launching the plan, making sure that we develop the plan going forward to deal with gender-based violence in the Republic. In the afternoon as well, the Commission for Gender Equality attended the launch by Gender Links, where they were launching a study, the report on GPV that focused in Limpopo.
Now, what does 16 days of activism really mean? 16
days of activism means that we should highlight the plight that all of us should actually be involved in trying to eradicate the scourge of gender-based violence. But it means that we should actually reinforce the program that we always do during the 365 days that we have. But it also means that society should actually identify the successes, the challenges that they have in relation to fighting the scourge of gender-based violence, including the fight against abuse of gays and lesbians and LGBTI people.
Is enough being done, though, by society and by organizations that strive to purge our society of the scourge?
I don't think that enough is being done. We are seeing that by the number of reported cases that we see. But now what is actually frustrating all of us is that violence, we are seeing high levels of violence happening in the family, whereas the family is supposed to be the structure where people should be protected. So I don't think we're doing enough. I think we should actually change gear. And also abuse and violence has become very aggressive now. So I don't think we're doing enough. We need to actually change gear and actually make sure that we develop new strategies to deal with this violence now.
Do you think, though, that enough is being done in terms of focus on emphasis on the victims, or do you think there's too much focus on the perpetrators to bring them to justice?
I think the critical point here is the issue around corrections of perpetrators. I don't think much is being done to also focus on them. But also, it's also critical. But I think when they are arrested and been convicted, the correctional services have their own programs to deal with those. But those who are not convicted, it's also difficult to identify them. But we have organizations like NICRO, Social Development, who are dealing with those. But I don't think we've done enough to deal with anger management, because I think those are some of the issues. We don't have programs to actually take people through anger and management. And I think families should play a very critical role in relation to identifying children that are aggressive, while they're still young, so that they can be put through some of these programs, so that their anger should be managed properly.
And what about care for the victims, though?
The care for the victims is also very critical. You saw the president visited Ikhaya Lethemba and so on. The care for the victims is also important. What is also critical about gender-based violence is there's also too much focus on physical violence. I'm not saying they should not focus on it, but the other aspects of violence that they're not focusing on: the economic abuse, the psychological abuse, and also other abuse that associated with that. So psychological and otherwise. So we must also develop strategies to deal with other types of abuses, because I don't think as a country we've actually developed strategies that are going to be able to deal with other types of abuses, which are very, very detrimental. Where you see people, for example, if a person is not paying maintenance, for example, if you are a father not paying maintenance, the mother is going to be frustrated and will end up doing things that the society is not going to affirm.
Now, I understand that the Commission conducted a research which shows that many police officials are not trained really to deal with crimes against women. Can you tell us more about your research?
Critically, what we did is there are two types of research. One is a victims charter research report, and also we conducted a research on the implementation of the 365 days of no violence against women. So on that one, we've realized that a lot needs to be done in relation to changing the curriculum of the police colleges, so that they will be able to actually deal with some of these issues. It's not only about dealing with and understanding what is gender equality all about, and the aspects of gender equality, the new forms of gender equality. It includes new things, so that police officers will be able to deal with some of these things, so that they will be able even accept men to come to report cases of gender-based violence. So those are some of the issues. And the other one was also looking at the challenges that the state face in terms of trying to implement the 365 days program.
Now, we know that festive season is around the corner. Normally, a lot of abuse happens during this time of the year. Any advice to parents out there?
It's also important, more especially what we also get as a gender commission. During that time, children, they go out and so on, a lot of abuse, rapes and so on. Our advice as a gender commission, it's important that people should actually make sure that they manage, they make sure that they're always on alert and they don't let their children to actually go astray and so on and visit friends and so on. Even during examinations, there's a lot of also seen as a commission is that the women pupils who actually go to school, sometimes they study till late and so on. So some of those abuses, they happen at that particular point. So it's important for parents to be alert, for guardians to be alert during the festive season as well.
Mfanozelwe, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Elvis.
That was Mfanozelwe Shozi. He is from the Gender Commission, for the Commission for Gender and Equality, rather. That brings the time now to just under 11:39. Let's go to our international stories. United Nations Deputy Secretary General Jan Eliasson has called on the Security Council to take action to deal with the situation in the Central African Republic.